My name is Stan Targosz. I'm the president of Responsible College Advocates. I'm also one of the founding members. I'm here with Lisa Kujawa, who's with Lawrence Tech University as assistant provost.
I'm associate provost.
Associate provost. Yes. And what I love about Lawrence Tech University and what I love about you is your willingness and your openness to actually do something for the students and encourage them and develop them and make sure you have the right fit for the family on campus. But before we get into that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what drives you?
Sure. So thank you very much for letting me be here today, and appreciate the partnership we have with you especially, and love Lawrence Tech. So I've been at Lawrence Tech for 22 years, and my background is in training and development. Lawrence is just a really, really special place, and I feel every time we have a graduating senior class, these kids go out and do great things. And so it's so easy to promote and talk and develop the opportunities that Lawrence Tech has within the higher education community.
So Dr. Modgill said there's not one person who wakes up in this country who's not impacted by something that a Lawrence Technological University graduate has made, created, or developed, from your cell phone or your cars. And from a small university, that's such a big impact. How are you able to help so many families and find the right talented students to participate at your school?
So what I always say, I've been in higher education for 36 years, it has to be a good fit, right? It has to be a fit that the parent feels what they're getting is what they need, and the student feels the same, and that the culture is the right fit. And so at Lawrence, it is a technological private university. Our degrees are extremely relevant in the marketplace, which is a huge deal to parents right now. As you and I were talking before we started, there's a lot of things happening. People are going to change the world, and I believe many of those people will come out of Lawrence Tech University.
I'm seeing it. You have a great culture, a great community, and it starts from the top down. And I think that's really what drives it, is the leadership and your willingness to give and make sure that students have the right fit. And when they need a little assistance, you help them. But you're not being a charity, giving everybody everything for free. You're giving people a hand up, which is fantastic.
Yes, and Stan, that's very important, because the Lawrence brothers, university is 88 years old. The Lawrence brothers, 88 years ago, in their founding documents, they said every student deserves an education and finances should never get in the way. And 88 years later, we're still true to that. And partnering with yourself and your company and your great professionals helps continue that legacy. So important.
Yeah, I love that. When we think of our experience at Lawrence Tech with the families we meet, there's so many families that are, it's not just the diamonds. And you and Dr. Modgill said something very impactful to me probably 2 years ago about some universities are looking for a diamond that's already formed that they can just shine and buff. But Lawrence Tech is looking for the raw material that can develop into the skill set that's designed on the inside of that student to really go shine, which is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. You want someone that has an entrepreneurial mindset. The Lawrence brothers had that, and we still try to instill that in students. A lot of students will say, oh, it's easy to get in. It's really hard to get out. And that's because of all that theory and practice and that building of that character, as you said, within those skill sets. The practical as well as the knowledge of the theory are equally important, especially these days.
Right. So Lawrence Tech is really viewed as a pinnacle in the country for a technical university. When you're talking to your peers and the rest of the industry, what are you hearing are some of the concerns that are sweeping the academic platform across this country right now?
So, great question. I think there's three things. One, relevance of the degree. When you're at a private technological university like Lawrence, that relevance is so high right now. Liberal arts universities are excellent, but having that technological focus, that career sense, that return on investment immediately based on the type of degrees we offer, it's essential. So the relevance of the degree, obviously the relevance of the university. So how is that university? What are you doing to build on the community? How are you developing partnerships like with people like yourselves? What are we doing to help ourselves be able to support those students? Because the students need support. And the third thing would be obviously the lessening of the debt. So that is an issue for all universities. So having resources, what you do, what you accomplish every day with our parents and our students means the world to Lawrence Tech.
What I think is important is speaking with you, you share having a community resource on campus that not only gets students into the university, but helps them solve the debt so they're defined by the education they receive instead of being defined by the debt they carry, really shines a big beacon of hope on Lawrence Tech University and what you do as leaders there and as the administrators, directors, presidents, provost, and all the teachers. When parents and students are coming in, what are some of the concerns parents specifically have who are coming into the university, and what are some of the concerns that parents have who have kids in the middle of the process of graduating?
So coming in, it's always about what happens as they go through the process. One, they want to make sure their kid's going to get a job. Are they going to get a co-op or internship? And then, of course, how are they going to pay for that degree as they pursue it? So that's one thing. Current students are really all about developing those skills and abilities through that process in a timely manner. That would be the one thing. They want to get in and get out. They want to have a great experience, but they want to be able to take that knowledge and use it. So having those practical opportunities, a co-op, an internship, doing applied research with our faculty, using the laptop and getting the skills necessary there. So for me, what you guys have done for us is provide that positive outlook for the end. And you started at the beginning,
Right.
Which is sometimes, people compartmentalize and they don't look at it long term. Okay, how are we going to move through this process?
We had the privilege of being on campus for your orientation a year ago and being right next to the financial aid table and seeing the parents coming in for the first time and picking their final classes with their student and the dorm where they're going to live and the activities and the books and the computers and everything, and they're excited. They get the final bill, and the financial aid team said, now go talk to responsible college advocates to figure out how to pay for it. Is that something that you're seeing more and more as a value add to the universities with yields of applications through matriculation and the big words that universities use?
So first of all, I'm so glad you asked that question. Number one, we've seen a lesser melt over the summer. Why? Because you can show parents and students ahead of time how we're going to move through this process, how we're going to get through it together in a very easy speak way, with great opportunities and showing them the paths, the different paths. That's number one. Number two, we've seen a higher retention rate. So we've seen more freshmen stay that would have probably left. And we've seen more students come and keep moving forward through to that fall semester, knowing that they have a resource in you. And we talked to many, many parents who said working through this has been a great opportunity. And again, we need positive things in our life, and you're a positive influence.
Right.
And you educate. That's the other thing I think is so important there's so much out there. Nobody sits down and reads. So for you to sit and say, let me explain this to you in very, simple terms that you and I both understand, and parents start to understand, I see how I can do that. Right.
Right.
And then you're reaching the goals that they have sooner than later. And that's been a benefit and a bonus to us. We're proud to be affiliated with you.
Right. Well, we love the relationship. It's absolutely fantastic. When I talk to parents who are coming in and they say, Stan, we budgeted for a $20,000 or $25,000 university, but our son or our daughter is designed to be at Lawrence Tech, which is a little higher than that. How do we make it work? When we sit down and show them that it doesn't derail their financial future or their retirement or their lifestyle, or they don't have to sacrifice their younger kids so that the one who's designed to be at Lawrence Tech can go there. They see that the couple extra dollars that they're spending, that's a general term, the extra money is well worth it. When they see it only adds 4 to 6 months on their total time to pay it off, they're like, this is a no-brainer decision to get the quality of education we need and actually have a game plan to map that out. Do you see students are as concerned about the debt that they have to carry to get through college and Lawrence Tech today as a bigger issue or a deciding factor for why a student would want to go?
I think it really still, and I'm old school, but I still think it really lies in the hands of the parents when you're talking about an incoming freshman. And transfer students, I think, and if they've transferred from somewhere else, they kind of have that understanding. But I would say parents are still at the forefront. And what I would also say about the services that you provide our students and parents is that you legitimize you legitimize the financing of a college education. And as you know, because you've been in this business a long time, years and years ago, when they changed all the way you could take the loans and, this and that, and it affected negatively students and parents. And so then they looked at it as a negative impact on them. Is this the right process? What your services do is legitimize the value of the education and show how over time that value is going to become higher because of the opportunities that exist in terms of the skill-based education they're going to receive in the job at the end, and that they can do this in a comfortable manner. And that, again, is a positive way to find a path that works.
Right. So I love that. What we really love doing is we love playing chess. This is a game. It's just math. When you take the emotion out of it and you're able to give someone a month-over-month, year-over-year timeline showing them exactly how they're going to pay for their child going to Lawrence Tech, and then the younger children who might go to a private school or a public school and how they can budget it, and when each student's out of all the student loans they need to take, because students have to have skin in the game. Can't all be on mom and dad, but mom and dad understand it when a student's a freshman. When they see the whole game plan, they realize that it's not a burden. On the FAFSA side of things, with the financial aid department, with the admissions department, with your outreach to the high schools, do you find that there's a lot of parents who have a lot more questions and in-depth questions about how that process works and why their award is lower or higher than they expected?
Oh yeah, I think that is so. I think that's never changed in the higher education enrollment cycle that I've been involved for so long. And they do. And because things change so fast and so fluid, they don't know everything that's going on. So yeah, those questions are out there. That's why the outreach that you do, that communication path for incoming students, current students, or even the outside community of K through 12. It's so important that you keep that educational piece going for the parents.
Right.
Because again, people want the opportunity to understand, how can I achieve this goal? And you give them opportunities to achieve the goal versus saying, never reach that goal, never do it. And so that's why I say you have the ability, it is your moment, your company, it is your moment, because the services that you provide and the support that you give is so needed now after going through this, situation that we've been in with the pandemic and the shutdown. And you are that light at the end of the tunnel that says, we can make your dream come true. We can make it happen. And it's going to be on your timeline with our knowledge.
Right.
And that's important.
I love that. You're so special as a university. You were sharing that you actually stopped by students' houses with the mascot and you made that personal impact. It's not just the students though. You've had us come out and talk to the admissions department, the financial aid department, the advancement department about what we do and how they can tailor their communication to the high schools, the grade schools, the middle schools, the people who are coming on your campus for summer camp. How has that helped tailor the communication and keep things consistent?
So that's a great question too, because as you know, we're a private university. And so the value, we need to show it each and every day. And by using the knowledge you've provided us, by providing you as a partner and showing parents how important it is, what you do and how you do it and how it can impact the student, that gives us a little bit of a leg up. And so what I find with our admission staff and our financial aid staff, they're using your materials more. They're saying, oh, wait, this is a resource. Let me explain to you how this happens. And more over time, more parents are coming to you now.
Right.
Which, again, even I always say, and I know you know this, even if they don't come to LTU and they go somewhere else, between you and I, we've tried to help that person, and that to me will come back to us tenfold. Right?
Yeah, you're very good about honoring what's right for the family. And if a family needs a little bit of extra assistance and they ask for it the right way, you will bend over backwards to make it work. In the same light, you don't want anyone to be taken advantage of. Really, the universities have a desire to get everyone through in 4 to 4.5 years with the right degree so they can be successful, productive members of society. A lot of times universities get the brunt of the negative media, but I think it's really the universities are just playing by the FAFSA rules, and most people don't understand how to work the FAFSA. The high school counselors don't have the 6 to 12 hours per family to navigate. And at the university level, that's also a big obstacle to overcome. That's why I love what we do, because we can walk in and spend the time with the family and show them, here's how you do it, here's how you do it the right way, here's what you can expect. And when a family knows proper expectations on the front end, they're not sticker shocked when they see $10,000 or $15,000 in a parent loan for 3 or 4 years in a row. They know that they can safely and comfortably manage it, get their student through. And at Lawrence Tech, which are your numbers like 90 something percent, 94% or 6% graduate with a degree in their field, and
yes,
it's just tremendous.
Yes. So I would say, to the point that you were just making, very important. So any university who said, hey, should we work with you? I'd say yes, and here's why. What you just said is so important. First of all, you're an advocate for the family. So no matter what family you're working with, you're going to advocate for the family. You're not advocating for Lawrence Tech. If Lawrence Tech is the right fit, then yes, you're going to advocate for that. But that's more. So it's almost like you're this objective third party who says, here's your options. We recommend this, but here's your options. And so when universities partner with you, what happens? The culture and the fit for the student become a whole lot higher because of the support that you're showing. And I think that's highly important for people to know that.
I love that. And I love meeting parents who they're really getting ready to make their biggest investment many of them until they retire, in their children. And it's so much more than getting a degree. Maybe when I went to school, everyone jokes and says, if you're breathing, you get in. You're very competitive, and most schools are very competitive today. But making sure that the student gets in, has the opportunities, and has that successful path is big. When I walk through Lawrence Tech, I see on your walls all of your partners and all your relationships. They're all big companies and individuals. Those aren't just someone donated and they never participate again. How does Lawrence Tech help a student who's looking for that internship and that experience so that when they graduate, they just don't have theory?
Correct. So that's really the heart of the theory and practice of the Lawrence Brothers. And so we have probably close to 1,000 employers that come on campus year round. We have a great co-op and internship program, and it's flexible, which is nice. And we're in the middle of Automation Alley. So we have the technology, we have the engineering companies, the manufacturing companies, and our students get co-ops and internships out of state as well. So that reputation that the Lawrence Brothers created so many years ago works for our students. And that consistent, continued reliance on education and the skill set that our students have is really the hallmark of an LTU degree. And so that continues to move forward in regards to who we associate with and who we want to develop strong relationships with.
So I have just one more question, and before we wrap up, when a student graduates and they're dealing with all the student loan debt and how that happens, do you see an impact for the students after they graduate, having a resource like us help navigate them through that process, as opposed to just leave it to the wind and the mails and the emails and all the media that hits them?
Yeah, I think threefold. One, I think that your company should be a part of the beginning of the process, throughout the middle of the process, and at the end, and then even with our alums, so that they understand that support that we want for them comes from you, and that, again, it is that positive voice. We need that positive voice to prove that the education we got was of value, and the ability to pay for it, we can do it, and we can come out on the other end and be way more successful than having not had a relationship with them.
I agree. Lisa, I think God's been opening doors for us for so long, and when you came by, it was so refreshing to see someone who's so polished, professional, and experienced.
Thank you.
Take the time to talk to us and understand and learn what we do, and then say, this helps the families, and that's what we need at Lawrence Tech University. We're so grateful for the relationship and the partnership and the ability to have an advocate on the inside like you. A lot of universities are really interested in helping the families, but they're so overwhelmed they don't have the time, or it's not a priority yet to really help them through the process. You really shine in that way, and that's you, Dr. Modgill, your whole staff. Everybody's tremendous. So we're extremely grateful for the relationship. We love helping your families, and nothing is more exciting than us when someone graduates and they introduce their daughter or son to us and say, we've been working with Responsible College Advocates to get you through school. Now they're going to work with you to make sure you're out of all the debt in 4 to 5 years so that you can live your life and enjoy your life.
Yes. There's nowhere to go but up for you. Your company is phenomenal. You care about people. You care about the goals and the dreams of young people. And their parents too want dreams, right? And you take that opportunity and you develop it further for them. So this is your moment. You take it. Partner with Stan.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
You're
we
welcome.
appreciate you guys.
Thank you.